Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Happy 4th of July for my fellow Americans, and they did a good job then. Since then until now, things changed, and remember, democracy is not mentioned once in the Declaration of Independence. I don't know, my friends, what do you think? I'm not going to go into it. It was a fantastic hit, but then it was hijacked by some individuals. This is the United States of America. We are not allowed to give them the opportunity to change that beautiful dream into their own making. Yeah, I'm back. I was not banned or anything. I just had to meet some people the whole day yesterday. All right. Let's start with this video properly, which is, I got three subjects for this video. First, the phone call between Trump and Putin. Then we had a phone call between Trump and Macron. And there is a phone call incoming today between Trump and finally Zelensky. The idea is, promoted in the West, no progress made in Putin's call, Trump claims. So I have here about, 6 articles. Let's get going. First one, start with no progress made in Putin's call, Trump. The Kremlin described their nearly hour-long discussions as candid and business-minded. Well, first, what kind of progress do you expect, Mr. Trump? I have the key points provided by the Russians, by the Kremlin, about the conversation, what these guys talked about, and then Zelensky's take on it, obviously. Not that it matters, but it's good to show the people how the narrative is supposed to go, and there is no progress was made. This is according to Trump. Now, you are all adults here, you're not children. Therefore, I expect a level of nuances and a level of gray zones, not white and black, good and evil kind of bipolar interpretation of the world. Therefore, I didn't expect to be any progress. The progress should be made between Trump and Zelensky, not between Trump and Putin. Not Putin has to be convinced. Zelensky must be turned to the right or turned to the left. And I will tell you why I think the Russians, not I think, because they stated it numerous times, why no progress was made. I will give you a hint. Niet. That is, talk is cheap. We don't trust you no more. All right. Here, let's start with going from the Americans to the Russians. HuffPost. Not that it matters from these guys, but Trump's concedes he's made no progress on achieving top campaign promise. Now the thing is, these guys are hitting on him with a campaign, and the other one concedes no progress. That means Putin doesn't understand diplomacy. The only thing he understands is who is stronger in the battlefield. Well, that is, again, we're not toddlers here, we're not children, black and white interpretation, and achieving top campaign promise. Well, by my assessment of, what's going on, Mia? Did you go there? By my assessment of how the presidents work, they could be, how do you call it, stopped by the bureaucracy. Remember, it's not Trump who's going to order further down, let's say, the Pentagon to remove its troops from Syria. It is the generals who have to give the order to the colonels and whomever is on the territory in Syria. Now, if that order loses its message going to Syria, is not going to be any withdrawal, which it wasn't. So, what I'm trying to say is Trump cannot speak with the people, hey, now you move. The people in charge, the chain of command, they have to communicate an order further down. So the same with here. Yeah, he needs to talk to Zelensky, not with Putin. So let's see what these baboons are saying here. Obviously, they're just going to take a dump on him. President Donald Trump said he was disappointed from his call with Vladimir Putin on Thursday, adding that he failed to make any progress on ending the war in Ukraine. Trump, who campaigned on ending the conflict within 24 hours of assuming office, conceded the discussion failed to yield any meaningful progress on the ceasefire. This is what Trump says, and I'm quoting. I am very disappointed with the conversation I had today with President Putin because I don't think he's there. I don't think he's looking to stop, and that's too bad. Okay. Well, first, who claimed that the war in Ukraine can be ended in 24 hours is a child, unless the message is made for children. Remember, when you go and have a lecture or a debate with someone, you elevate or you lower your level of conversation to that level of the audience that you sense is over there. Why? You have to make them understand. Otherwise, the words will go either above them or below them. So Trump thought that in his campaign, he can say to the American electorate, to the sophisticated American electorate, that he can end it in 24 hours. Anyone believe that? I want to know if anybody believed that. That's what Trump said, and this is the reality. 24 hours. He thought he can do it? I don't think so. He just dropped it. Remember the level. Remember what I said at the beginning of this video, the United States of America? That's partly of what I mean. I think the Americans were more educated, and that is not that they had more college degrees. They had more schooling, more knowledge poured into them in the past than right now. Right now, it's like many things in this beautiful country, it's a mirage. It's I can identify as good, therefore I'm good. Instead of proving you're good, and then other people assess your outcome, the outcome of whatever you say. Yeah, Emily's good at this, or Johnny is good at this. Again, he said that, and people believed it. Nobody called him out. People, how would you do that? That's baboonish from the get-go. But hey, he thought that the audience, or he is at that level. I don't know. What do you think? I know campaigns, but 24 hours in something so deep as NATO approaching Russia, that means these people don't know anything about anything. Exaggerating, and obviously I'm generalizing. So let's go to the next one. Ukrainska Pravda. Kremlin reveals details of Putin-Trump phone call. Now, I would like you to pay attention to the details provided by Ukrainska Pravda. And that's going to be a paragraph. These are the details that Ukrainska Pravda thought that it should be revealed to us. And then you wonder, or I wonder, why the 24 hours? Partly. All right, Yuri Ushakov, aide to Vladimir Putin, has told Russian propagandist media that during the phone conversation with the US president, the Kremlin leader discussed the situation in the Middle East and Russia's invasion of Ukraine. That's it. All right. Here, Ushakov stated that Putin congratulated Donald Trump on the upcoming US Independence Day. It was yesterday, right? The 3rd of July, when the phone call took place, and remarked that, and I'm quoting, Russia played a significant role in the founding of the American state, end quote. And I'm quoting now, right now, what Ukrainska Pravda thought that the Ukrainians should know about the conflict and the conversation between Trump and Putin. And I'm quoting, of course, the issue of Ukraine was discussed. Trump again raised the matter of ending the hostilities as soon as possible. Baboonish. Putin said that we are continuing to seek political and negotiated resolution to the conflict, end quote. This is all. This is maybe the last one right here. Ushakov noted that the conversation also touched on the situation in Syria, like what exactly, Iran, and the broader Middle East. He also said a potential face-to-face meeting between Trump and Putin was mentioned, but added that the idea is still floating in the air. I mean, as Putin said, I'm not going to meet these guys just to say hello and wave at the people for the mass media to make money out of that. They make money out of that, breaking the news, and then the advertisers are blowing your television. That's what it is, the news. All right, so what did you get? Oh, they spoke about Ukraine, they spoke about Iran, they spoke about the Middle East, and the meeting between them. That's all. Very meaningful. What exactly? Give me more details. Emil, they're not like that. They're mature, right? They're adults. All right. We're going to have a list from Sputnik. Don't worry. Now let's see what Zelensky has to say about this one. Zelensky, remember, he's not one of ours. Ukrainska Pravda. Zelensky on Putin-Trump call. He says, not sure they have many ideas in common. Now, if you say this, that is meant to hurt the feelings of probably Putin. Because probably he thinks that he, Zelensky style, has so much in common with Trump. Well, that is very concerning for us Americans, okay? And Ukrainians as well. This is what he says, speaking to journalists. I'm not sure that they have many ideas in common, as they are very different people. No shit. But if we are talking about Ukraine, we have always supported the idea of an unconditional ceasefire proposed by President Trump. Boy, you can't go make noise, have mommy and daddy get out, smack you around, and they say, why do you stop right now? Stop right now. No. I have to finish the job that you started. Or not, if you didn't start it, you started because they made you start it. So Zelensky, they're two different people. I think you are very different than the Ukrainians that you are in charge of. I think you and Yermak and Zhmihal, even what's his name, Umerov, even Syrsky. All these guys that I mentioned right here are Ukrainians. All right? Go and check who's Umerov, who are these guys. But they have so much in common. The only guy is over there in charge, not even in charge, because Yermak cuts him off all the time, is, what's his name? The foreign minister, who, when the things need to be negotiated, he's not sent over there. Is Umerov or is Yermak, how do you call it, Ukrainians, right? Again, and then you have Budanov. I don't think Budanov is still alive, nevertheless. Who else? Syrsky is Russian, ethnic. The other one is Tatar. And the other three I mentioned, you know what they are. I don't have to upset YouTube too much. All right, so let's see what's going on with Sputnik. Putin and Trump talk Ukraine, Iran, Syria, and space in wide-ranging call. No, it was not even an hour. That's not a lot. Right here. It's like bulletproof here, okay? Putin and Trump held a phone conversation. Presidential aide Yuri Ushakov, that's the same guy these guys used in the previous one when they said, okay, let's say the details. And the details were two general things, or three general things, I'm sorry, or four maybe. Let's see what these guys are saying. First, Putin informed Trump about the progress of implementing the Istanbul agreements between Russia and Ukraine. Putin told Trump that Russia continues to seek a negotiated solution to the Ukrainian conflict. He informed Trump that Russia will not abandon the elimination of all root causes of the current confrontation. Got that? In order for us to finish this, it's not like this imbecile right here, right there, support idea of unconditional ceasefire. No, boy, things are more complicated. Again, Trump is disappointed. Trump thought that he's gonna get his little Quantalamera wonder wand. Is gonna hit both of them with them, and they will say, "Okay, Trump, you're a man, yeah." Like in America, yeah, man, yeah. Pula mea, who's working? Who? There are details, man. You go out, go take your little toys, little train, and little carts, and play over there in the playground with the other boys. Things are more complicated. I'm going to solve it in 24 hours. Like how? How? The root cause is you. Did you know that? Let's start with that one. The Russians did not have to talk more than that. The root cause is clear. You say something about NATO, you tell Zelensky to fuck up, and we discuss maybe hour for non-negotiable. We discuss them. That is, we tell you how things are going to be, and the rest we can tweak here and there. That's where the Russians are. They got hurt, they got lied. So a phone conversation with "I love you, Putin, let's go, peace," and so on, don't work these kind of things with the Russians anymore. They don't, and these guys are surprised. I'm disappointed. You are disappointed? Do something about it. Do something about it, and then don't be disappointed. Do you think the Russians should do first after they were attacked by NATO coming over Red Rover? Remember, I have to tell you, if I don't remind you, it was not the Russians going westward with their troops and with the military installation and conquering country by country with their jackal politicians. It was the other way around. And if you think that was defensive, again, get your toys, get your little train, your carts, bing, 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 play over there in the playground. That's not what it was. Let's continue with these guys. Trump raised the issue of an early end to hostilities. Okay, let's do it. In Ukraine, during the conversation, Trump informed Putin about the successful passage of the Senate of a bill of tax and immigration reform. Very good. Putin congratulated Trump on the upcoming U.S. Independence Day. Putin noted in the conversation that Russia played a significant role in the formation of American statehood. Putin and Trump had a detailed discussion on the situation around Iran and the Middle East as a whole. Putin and Trump touched on developments in Syria. Moscow and Washington will continue dialogue on this topic. Putin and Trump discussed several promising joint economic projects in energy and space exploration. Putin and Trump did not discuss a possible personal meeting. Did not discuss. All right. So, question for you regarding the situation with this. How should I put it? They didn't even talk an hour. Did you see how many subjects? Now you try to just the introduction. Hello, Donald. Hello, Vladimir. We gets good. You have to introduction. If you get each and every subject, how many they mention here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, about 14 issues that these guys are saying. Now you multiply that, let's say, by 3, and you get to about exact 3 minutes for each. About, right? 3 minutes, 45 minutes. They spoke under an hour. So 3 minutes for each issue. Do you know what 3 minutes is? Are you going to do this? No. Let's move on. 3 minutes for an issue. All right. Kremlin aide reveals details on Trump-Putin call. The sixth conversation between the two leaders lasted for almost an hour. Almost. And it's the same thing with Ushakov. This is the guy who was allowed to talk. And then we have no progress made. And then we have these guys. So this is from today. Because this spoke, I think, after Putin. Why? They didn't publish this yesterday. They published it today. And this conversation, for instance, from Ukrainska Pravda, right here, it's at 7:30 p.m. They had it done. 7:30 p.m. yesterday. This right here from the same outlet is from the morning today at 12:41. So after midnight, I will get not even 41. Or maybe it's, I think it's even at noon. They came with this article. Trump and Macron discussed Ukraine during 3 July call, The Guardian. French Emmanuel Macron had a phone conversation with Donald Trump. One of the topic was Ukraine. Okay. A source of the Elysee Palace said the presidents discussed Iran, Ukraine, and ongoing EU-US tariff talks. Macron also spoke with Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman to discuss the situation in Iran and Gaza. They speak with the wrong people. On the evening of July 3rd, Trump spoke with the Kremlin leader. Following the conversation, the US president said he had not made any progress on the Papa Kappa. This is the point. It was Stephen Cohen, one of he was a professor emeritus of Russian studies. He died a few days ago, a few years ago, I think in 2021 or 2022. And I watched and I recommend him very much to you. I would like you to go in Stephen Cohen. He's Jewish, old guy with glasses, big smoker, and he is very smart and calm, very like an intellectual should be, let's put it this way. So he said in one of these interviews, he was interviewed by a long time ago, after he said the truth in front of the media operatives, he was not invited anymore. Like, for instance, Colonel McGregor, he's not invited anymore. Why? These guys don't have to hear the truth. They're supposed to hear 3 things over there. These guys are narrowing down for them to ingest. So anyway, he said that one of the problems with or the differences between the American politics and the Russian politics, he said, is that the Russians are thinking in centuries, are planning in centuries, whereas the Americans are planning an election cycle. 4 years, I get elected 4 years. This is how far they, the Russians are, that's what it is. I'm not saying that that's necessary. This is in a nutshell. It's not like, oh, this is what it is. That's what it is, and I agree with that. So when Trump came up with his little cart drag, I came to speak, stop that, not the other guys, because Zelensky is like, Putin look at him and say, what's the population of Ukraine, Trump? And then Trump starts with, yes, I think I know, but I won't tell you because, I'm the best and you don't know, yes, and I should not even talk to you, but maybe if I talk to you, I will tell you. Fuck off, all right? People see the world differently. The Americans, used to look not like Trump on the current political level. They used to think that way in centuries. But remember how I started this video? It's going down with the electorate. But they did it different right now. It's very fake. It's very, how do you call it? You see, this is the wall. If someone shoots someone inside of the house over there, might shoot me or something. It's a lot of fake. So here you have people coming and giving the American population college degrees very easily, if you pay, or if you qualify for someone else to pay for you, you know what I mean? Then you get a college degree because the level was dropped, so certain people can also have college degrees, so they have access to some other things, you know what I mean? Because some other people look at other people, so they are, desirable for sex, for instance. And if you promote the same thing to become managers and supervisors, they will be in charge of the hardworking people. But hey, that's the way it works in America. So you drop the level, so everybody, all baboon with a pencil, can go and show up in class sometimes, graduate in about 7 years. Yeah, that's how was the average. I don't know how much it is right now. 7 years of college. On average, 7.5 or something, almost 8 years to graduate college in the United States of America. You understand, people work and so on, and people are the way they are. So you get a diploma. 1 in 3 adults in the United States of America has a college degree, and they're very happy about it. Well, I gotta tell you that this is false confidence in your knowledge. You have a diploma, but your diploma actually doesn't, in my experience, not only going to college here, rubbing shoulders with PhDs, all right, doesn't match the level. I think if you get this guy, let's say from a college degree right now on average, and bring him in, let's say 1940s, college degree, I think these guys are not even high school. I'm generalizing, don't get upset, I'm not saying everybody, but the level. Why? Because you diluted the people. The college should have been made for the creme de la creme. Maybe, I don't know, maximum 10% of the population, if you really call it college and so on. That's why you go over there and apply for a job, you get a college degree, okay, move on. If you have a master, if you have PhD, you're overqualified. It's so bizarre. Not bizarre, but I will make a video maybe on this one some other time. So here it is, my friends. The Russians will not talk to the Americans on words. They had enough words, a house full of words and promises broken by the other side. And this guy, he is disappointed. Like someone is a habitual liar, and he's upset that you don't believe him anymore until things are done first. Lavrov said it, Putin said it. We're done with this game. Zakharova said, we're done with this. We got burnt too many times. That's it. End of the line. And the other guy's feeling insulted. I'm sorry, maybe Putin is a nice guy. Trump is a nice guy and he wants, but you represent the same office, the same structure, the same system that actually is in charge of you. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.